Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We now know the name of the truck driver who's accused of sexually assaulting a young girl at a truck stop in Minnesota and was arrested Monday in Clay County. 34-year-old Kenneth George Zender is charged with one felony count of criminal sexual conduct after court documents say he raped a 15-year-old girl at a truck stop in Stearns County. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley found explosive details on Zender's past, and she was the only reporter at the scene today as investigators searched the semi for evidence. She joins us live now in the studio with more. Bailey?
Melanie, Clay County investigators tore through that semi for about an hour at the Moorhead impound lot this afternoon, coming out with bag after bag after bag of potential evidence. But as of now, it's still unclear just what they found or what they were looking for inside. And as for Kenneth Zender, looking back at his criminal history, I found this is not his first time dealing with the law. Michigan court records say Zender was convicted in 2003 of manslaughter with intent, but without malice. Zender ended up spending 6 years in prison for his manslaughter charge and officially ended parole in 2011. Now, despite reaching out to multiple agencies in St. Clair County, Michigan today, we were unable to obtain documents with any other details of that case. Now, court records show no indication of any other run-ins with the law until he was pulled over and arrested Monday morning. It's unclear if Zender will face additional charges, as the victim told investigators she was raped other times and places as she traveled in the semi-truck with Zender for the last week. Now, if Zender is convicted, he could spend the next 30 years in prison. Melanie?
Bailey, thank you. A Stearns County judge set bail at $40,000 with conditions or $100,000 without. Not much to complain about in the weather department. We have sunny and mild temperatures, which are perfect for a backyard barbecue. That's where we can find Hutch right now in your no-wait weather. How's it looking out there, Hutch?
Melanie, it is looking absolutely fantastic. We have been really fortunate on Wednesday nights. Those are nights we have our Cashwise Backyard Barbecue, of course, for having some pretty fair conditions to get out and grill. And if you have plans to get outside, take a look at this weather that we're experiencing right now. Across the region, temperatures are not hot. We have just a little bit of a breeze from the northwest, and we're talking about mainly 70s until we get into northern parts of Minnesota. As we take a look at the graphics here, we do have some 60s up near Lake of the Woods. In fact, low to mid 60s in Badette. And also, we are seeing a lot of low to mid 70s in eastern portions of North Dakota. So all in all, it's a comfortable cool with just a light wind and a few more clouds showing up on the satellite and radar in northern Minnesota. Not seeing anything in the way of showers in our neck of the woods. So whether you're grilling in Badette or, well, you're out in Jamestown, things are high and dry. Here's your planner for Fargo this evening. Temperatures slipping into the 60s. Once we get close to sunset, it won't take long to get into the 50s. It's going to be another crisp overnight. Grand Forks, likewise, we're looking at some cooling conditions as the sun sets on our day. The wind should be quiet overnight, and all in all, for Allison Wolf and the rest of her invitees for the Cashwise Backyard Barbecue, things are looking pretty good. Allison, can you tell me where you signed up to win?
Cashwise in West Fargo.
Very good. Now, you've got this ravenous-looking group of people here. I'm assuming. Who'd you invite?
A whole bunch of friends and neighbors, so yes.
And it looks like some kids, right?
Yes.
Very good. Now, are you guys ready for back to school?
Yep.
All right. Do you know where your pencils are? Nope. No. I don't know where my pencil is either, so that's okay. Well, it's a back-to-school night here for many across the valley as we get ready for getting kids back to school in the morning. We'll have your forecast details here in just a bit, and our friends from Cashwise will be throwing those steaks on the grills here momentarily. For now, Melanie, we'll toss it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Hutch. Police in Grand Forks are searching for a man who they say failed to register as an offender. 27-year-old Seth Allen Suko has not registered with Grand Forks Police as required by law. He has ties to the Grand Forks and Jamestown areas. And this is not his first try to evade the law. Back in 2017, he escaped from a law enforcement center and was on the run. He was eventually recaptured. If you see him, you're urged to call police. That number is 701-787-8000. Police in Dilworth want your help identifying this guy on your screen right now. Authorities say he's involved in a recent robbery and think he might be driving a gray Impala. If you know anything about this person, you're being asked to call the Dilworth Police at 218-287-2666. And police in northwestern Minnesota are searching for this woman whose picture is up on your TV right now. Ellen Simmons was last seen outside the Clearwater Courthouse on August 15th. Authorities say she walked away on her own, but they're concerned for her safety. It's believed she may be heading to Bemidji. If you have any information on her, you can call your local law enforcement. It was a scary start to the day for 3 people following a rollover crash in North Fargo. The call came in around 10 this morning for an accident at Broadway and 22nd Avenue North. Police say one vehicle was stopped at the intersection and didn't see the other coming through. The car that was hit rolled once before landing back on its tires. One woman witnessed the crash and did not hesitate to help.
I heard tires screeching and a big boom. I threw my dog inside, called 911, and I ran over here as fast as I could to see if there was anything I could help with. I'm a junior nursing student at NDSU, so I just wanted to make sure nobody moved before an ambulance got here.
No one was injured during the crash. Authorities are now reminding you to always be careful while driving, especially when going through intersections. President Trump criticized the Danish Prime Minister just hours after his surprise cancellation of a planned state visit to Denmark. President Trump claims language used by the Prime Minister disrespected the United States after reports surfaced that Trump was interested in buying Greenland. She called that idea absurd. The president also doubled down on comments made Tuesday, claiming that Jewish Americans who vote for Democrats are disloyal to Israel and other Jews. This after blasting Democratic representatives, including Ilhan Omar, for their criticism of Israel and support of the boycott.
All they had to do is say, no, we'd rather not do that, or we'd rather not talk about it. Don't say what an absurd idea that is, because she's not talking to me. Excuse me, she's not talking to me. She's talking to the United States of America. You don't talk to the United States that way, at least under me.
The president departs for a G7 meeting in France this weekend and reaffirmed his support today for readmitting Russia into the group. 2 NASA astronauts went on a spacewalk today outside the International Space Station. It was a working trip to install a docking adapter on the station. NASA astronauts Nick Hague and Andrew Morgan left the confines of their orbiting home this morning, switching their spacesuits to battery power for the walk. A docking port is basically another parking spot on the space station for commercial crew capsules. The first was installed 3 years ago. It will be used by SpaceX and Boeing once they start launching astronauts to the orbiting lab late this year or early next year. The spacewalk was expected to last 6.5 hours. 3 egrets are getting a second chance at life today. The young birds were thrown out of their nests last month when violent storms ravaged Fergus Falls. Dozens of other birds died, but these 3 were rescued and nursed back to health. Today, the birds were released back into the wild.
I couldn't stop smiling when I saw them let go, and I had a few tears. Happy tears, of course.
It's wonderful. That's why you rehab, is the joy of releasing them back to the wild where they belong.
You can catch the full story behind these birds' recovery in less than an hour on Valley News Live at 6, right here on Valley News Live. Renovations are complete at a living facility in Fargo that is aiming to address what's being called a critical need in the community. Today, the Fargo Housing and Redevelopment Authority held its celebration for the completed renovation of New Horizons Manor in Fargo. These upgrades are designed to cater to low-income community members who are also facing physical disabilities. Each of the units have features to make their homes more accessible. One former resident says having a fully accessible unit can make all the difference.
The accessibility and the services that are available allow for a independent, to a point, lifestyle. I mean, without these kind of services that are available here and without the accessibility, I mean, the life itself would be so much more restricted.
Officials say these renovations will extend the life of the building for decades. A special lemonade stand is just wrapping up, with all the funds going to a family whose daughter will be born with a heart condition. The McGoldrick family's daughter, Mickey, is set to come into the world in October. Doctors have told the family she will be born with a heart condition and will likely need surgery shortly after she's born.
I'm happy we're able to raise money for her and do what we can. A lot of my friends have came, which is very nice of them, and family friends we know, my grandparents, and just being with all the kids is fun too.
We'll have much more on this story, including the people who put it all together, tonight at 9 on the Fargo CW and Valley News Live 10 at 10. Presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders is coming to the Great Minnesota Get-Together this weekend. According to the Vermont Senator's campaign website, he'll be at the Minnesota State Fair on Saturday for a Meet the Candidates question and answer session with NPR News. The event is slated for 1 p.m. at the NPR booth. As your kids are getting ready to start school tomorrow for the first big day, don't forget to join us on the Valley Today. We'll be bringing you the latest weather updates to help plan for that perfect first day outfit, along with any traffic to help plan your route. The Valley Today starts at 4:30 a.m. here on Valley News Live. Still have